ain't going back. Not gonna buy into all that. Hey, hey, ain't gonna hide. Gonna let all the fears slide. Got Mother Nature is on my side. Got all of the loving growing inside.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to 2022. I'm here with Campbell again. I'm Lorenzo. We're going to continue our Odyssey this year. And we figured we'd start with an Odyssey special before we get to our 1, 2, 3, and 4, or 6, or 5, 6, 7, 8. We will give you guys more of an update as we get some clarity on the choices. We wanted to make some really strong ones for you guys coming this year. And today we figured why not talk about, after the New Year's hangover is gone, sobriety and clear choices and all that could mean to you. Hey, Campbell.
How you going, Lorenzo?
Good,
yes.
good.
Hello, everyone.
Feeling sober today.
Sobriety. It's an interesting one. I know a lot of people that last year just, for some reason, stopped drinking. Myself included. Probably about 18 months ago, I just thought, what am I doing? What's the point in having, it's not like I was drinking to get drunk, but you have a couple of drinks a night and you don't. And then you think, well, what am I doing that for? I'm not getting really any effect off it. It's bad for me. It costs me money. So, yeah, sobriety. Who do you want to own your mind, right? We go through the year, we hit the end of the year, and they just want you to get drunk and forget everything, be confused, and walk into the new year not knowing what's going on. Because it's a form of mind control, right? They keep you down. You've got a problem, we've got a solution in a pill or a bottle for you, and it won't actually fix you. It'll just make you, sit there and either focus on how bad things are or, F the world, and then you'll come out of it and nothing's changed.
I mean, you got to wonder why, when they have all their lockdowns and all their stay safe measures and all of the what you can and can't do, they end up closing the gyms. And at one point you were taking people out of beaches and parks in Canada and other parts of the world, whereas all the liquor stores are doing a full brisk, busy business, right? And no problem of how to get the whiskey you want or the bit of so why is it being pushed? What's the difference between a clear mind and a drunk mind? If sobriety, Campbell and I want to discuss, obviously alcohol, as we just brought up, what that means to be drunk and how that affects you, but also, clarity and all its ways and means of being able to make clear choices for yourself. So basically, drunkenness, why is it promoted? I see it on all of the shows that I used to watch, like all the superhero shows, all the kiddie shows. I used to watch Green Arrow that was filmed, I know, in Vancouver in Canada, because I used to read the comic book when I was a younger lad, and always they said, oh, we're just about to go on a tour, or we've just had a bad day, let's have some whiskey, have a drink, how's it going, you've had a bad time, let's go down to the bar. So why does that get pushed, and what's going on behind the scenes in relation to what does drunkenness do to you, and what does it take away from you?
Exactly. Yeah. It's so pushed, and it starts at a young age. I remember growing up in the 80s, they were the cool kids, right? The cool kids were the ones who promoted in movies, were the ones who were getting drunk and stoned and, running around and doing all this stuff. And I think it also comes down to the fact that we have no ceremony, right? We have no coming of age ceremony, so especially with males, they're looking around. How do I join the adult group? And what's the message they get? Start drinking, go down the pub. That's how you join them. That's probably not a group you want to join, to tell you the truth, guys. So it's a big scam, right? That it's the same thing. They promote it as something good, as something that's about community, and you can get involved and get connection. But really, when you come down to it, it's about the complete opposite. It's about disconnecting yourself with people around you and with yourself. We know what drunk people do. Well, sometimes they hug each other, they love everyone, but sometimes they hate everyone. Because what it does is it brings out your inside, your true self. So if you are frustrated and you're, angry, and that's why a lot of people, probably most people, drink, that's what it's going to bring out. Okay, so you're going to promote that instead of, if you don't drink and you sit there and spend some quiet time and think, well, where does all this stuff come from? Then you can get rid of it and you won't need to drink.
Yeah, I mean, from my own perspective, I did used to, enjoy, so to speak, when I was, a stockbroker a long time ago, and even every weekend, would go out to socialize and have some drinks. And, what I found, over the years is I've healed myself. And as Campbell said, I've gone in and looked at my own inner demons and figured out why I was upset. That the alcohol, which used to make me feel better and relax me and give me the ability, let's say, to get through my day and get on with the next week, started to do the opposite. I think, when you get healthy, when you get happy, when you get honestly powerful insight in relation to what you would like to do in your life, the alcohol takes away, from your ability to make strong choices, to make clear choices, and I'm not even mentioning the physical and the detrimental effects to your health, that drinking has on all of us eventually, because it is a poison. It can kill you if you drink too much. It does kill brain cells and all those things. And if any of us have ever looked at anyone that's been a drinker their whole life and continues to drink into their older years, you can see they don't look so good. They don't look so happy, and they don't look so clear in their ability to make good choices.
They look dehydrated. They just all do, don't they? It's like you don't see like an overweight old alcoholic very often, do you? The people who've drunk their whole lives and they're sort of hit 60 and 70, they're normally pretty skinny, kind of that gaunt kind of look. And that's not healthy. That's showing you what this alcohol's done to their body. So it's definitely, it's spirits, right? It's spirits. So why are they called spirits? When we get drunk, we drop our defenses. So when we're more perceptible to spirits, they can get in easier, and if you don't believe in any of that stuff, well, that's your choice. But this stuff goes on, and we know that people, when you lower your guards, this is when people get possessed. They get spirits attaching to them, all this kind of stuff. So is this part, because we know what this entity is, right? We know what it's about. It's about trying to control and take over and be, the power. So it would make sense that it would put you in a state where you were easier prey for it. So, it's promoted as this thing, be a man, but really, guys, we're being duped. It's not anything about that.
If we're going to get on to the talk of entities and archons and, the fifth and sixth dimensional, let's say, voices or interfering energies that probably is what's really going on. Campbell and I talked a bit about, the challenges of the last couple of years, what's being pushed, what's being taken away, and how we're being invaded. I would say we're usually invaded from the inside out first. Our mind is invaded, through TV, through media, through what have you, even people talking to you a lot. And if you start to believe something and you start to see something is real and you start to manifest it, and as Campbell just said, by drinking, your defenses go down. You're not as clever, even though you think you might be. You become less clever, not more clever. You become less discerning in your choices, I would say, in your ability to discern what's good for you and what's bad for you. And, from what I've heard, alcohol as well, is something is bad, but the alcohol makes it so you don't care anymore, right? You go, well, I'm gonna, I know this lady's not good for me, or I know this guy's not good for me, but who cares? Or, I know I shouldn't be, eating this bad food, but right now I don't give a shit. So I'm just gonna, have that fourth piece of pie or that, other plate of greasy food. And, I'm not going to think about it right now until it hits me in the morning when I sober up, so-called. So there's a reason.
I'll have another drink.
I'll have another drink. Yeah. So there's a reason it does get pushed, and there's a reason it's easy to get, and there's a reason it's so readily available, and there's a reason it's in all of the so-called dramas. You see it pushed right, left, and center. And as Campbell said, one of the only things that as a way to become a man or a woman, when you get the rite of passage, supposedly, is you can finally start drinking, right? You can head out with your friends and have a few, and it's okay, and it's not illegal, and so don't worry about it. But I can only say for myself, over all the years, it hasn't been a positive thing in the end when you're trying to get out of your present circumstances and move beyond what you're not happy about in your life.
It's just so glamorized. you know, all success, right? Pretty much all of it. They're sitting around, they got their martinis and their drinks, and it's all got to have your alcohol when you're successful. But we all know that the actual story of drinkers is nothing like that.
Yeah.
Right? The ones that they get caught, they're in poverty, they're in domestic abuse, their lives are falling apart. Because the thing is, when you drink, you can put life off, right? If you've got all these things you don't want to deal with, just get drunk, or whatever, you know, whatever your drug of choice is, right? Get yourself out of it, and then you don't have to think about it. But the problem is, when you wake up, a problem is not just still there. It's probably now compounded because you've let it go, you know, so we can't get out of dealing with stuff down here by taking drugs. That's a loser's game. You're just going to put yourself in a much worse position, and you're going to have less faculties to be able to deal with it. You know, so we've really got to understand that it's everything, guys, everything, right? Food, water, school, everything they sell us as good and something you need is bad. It's just that simple.
You know,
right?
at best, you delay the choices you need to make for getting life better, to make yourself better. You know, as Campbell said, if you're sitting in a cage and you want to get out, or you're sitting with some rage and you want to heal it, or you're in a bad relationship and you don't like it, or you've had some problems at work and you want to get over them, you know, sure, you can have a few beers or what have you. And for the moment, you'll forget about it and go about, you know, with your buddies and run around and laugh and pretend to be happy. But, you know, eventually the morning will come, you know, the sun will come up and nothing will have changed unless you've changed them for yourself. And I would say a bigger part of that, from what I've found, is the more sober you get, and I just don't mean away from alcohol, but I mean the more clear you get in your choices and your life and what's working and what's not working, more options magically, you know, for lack of a better way to put it, seem to appear. And, you know, we've discussed it before. And if you are the vehicle through which you go through your life, and you are like where does inspiration come from? Where does new choices come from? Where do other options come from? And I would say they come from your ability to perceive new choices, new options, new ways to be alive, new ways to move, new ways to travel, new ways to make money, you know, new ways to whatever, you know, fill in your own blanks for what you need new ways for. And alcohol does not allow you to grow towards those options, let's say, or to reach for them. You know, at best, maybe you'll see them when you're drunk for a moment. Maybe you'll go, I never, you know, you'll relax for a moment. You won't be angry with your wife, or you won't be angry with your boss. You know, you won't be pissed off at your buddy next door for not mowing his lawn or mowing it too early in the morning or whatever. But, you know, eventually, whatever you considered was a good idea on alcohol, at best, you'll probably forget about the next day. And at worst, you know, you'll be worse off, as Campbell said, than you were the day before. And, you know, you'll be back in the mire from which you started, with less money in your pocket and less brain cells in your head.
That's brain cells, yeah. That's the problem. You get an idea, and then the alcohol kills that brain cell. It's gone. It's you know, it's 2022, guys. We've got to wake up and understand that putting things off, that's all drugs are. It's just putting stuff off, not wanting to deal with them. It doesn't work anymore. It never did work in the past. And at this point, you've really got to think and make a decision, is where's that going to lead you? Like, where do you think that's going to lead you in a year or 6 months? Because we know there's something going on here, right? And as far as I can tell, some people are going to one place and some people are going to another place. And, you know, if you're going to dull your senses and let, you know, the powers that be tell you what you should do and how you should live, and you should just forget everything, it's all too hard, well, you've chosen. So, you know, next time if you do drink or whatever, if you got that drink in your hand, just ask yourself, what's it doing for you? Is it empowering you? Is it improving your wealth, improving your health, improving your mind, improving your relationships? Or is it maybe doing the opposite? Because then you can make a choice. When you look at it, go, well, this is actually just, you know, there's nothing good here, right? You know, I'm spending $100 a week on alcohol. I could use that for other things. You know, it's costing me my health. It's doing this. It's costing relationships. Well, you know, put your big boy pants on and stop drinking. It's time to just make a decision and just go for it. And we're not saying it'll be easy. Not, you know, there's not a lot in this life that is worthwhile doing that is easy. I would say probably nothing. You've got to earn things. You have to be the person that deserves that life. And the person who deserves a good life is not the person who gives up and, puts their face into a drink. That's total disempowerment.
Total. And we've mentioned before in our other Odyssey ones, and Campbell brought it up with the gaunt guy or the gaunt lady who's drinking too much. You have a second brain. It's in your guts, it's in your stomach, it's in your middle, it's in your hara, as they say in Japanese, and they call it gut rot for a reason. Alcohol, it rots your gut. You don't feel like eating, and literally, perhaps you're killing both brains, without considering it. You're killing the one that thinks, and then you're killing the one that feels as well by rotting your guts, which is where your intuition comes from, which is where your new choices may come from. So literally, if you're looking to get away from a challenge, which is why you drink, I would say not approaching it with sobriety is doing the opposite of what you want to be doing. At the very least, that's a good reason to at least take good notice of what you're doing. Like, if you really want to get away from something, you really want to change, alcohol's not going to help. If you want to sit and stew in the poo that you're in right now and you don't mind staying there and you just want to delay until you're dead and you don't mind your brain cells, then, I'm not saying you shouldn't drink. You have all the drinks you want, I drink all the whiskey and rye and sake and beer. But, know at least what you're doing and be aware. That's another thing about being sober as opposed to being drunk. Sobriety is an awareness of the truth in relation to your life, in relation to what you'd like to do or not do, in relation to what you'd like to create or uncreate or make or start or stop. And at the very least, if you're honest with yourself, maybe you'll drink less, have a drink or two if you want, whatever. It's not a big deal. I had a couple over New Year's, and then I realized my stomach wasn't as happy as it was the day before. So I stopped, and it really wasn't working for me the way it used to work for me. It doesn't relax me the way it used to. It does the opposite now, right? It gets me all jittery and unhappy, I would say. And I have trouble sleeping, whereas I used to enjoy sleeping. So, as I've had more experiences, let's say, with alcohol, I've noticed that it literally does poison your body, and it poisons your thoughts, and it poisons your guts. And that is not what I want to do for myself in relation to what I want to be and how I want to see.
Exactly. Yeah. We're not saying, you all have to be teetotalers. But it's just knowing, that there's a point, right, where you can have a couple of drinks and you're socializing, but there's a point where you're drinking to get the effects, and that's where the problem comes in. And if it's drinking, alone at home because you're stressed out, then that's probably an issue. So it's not the socializing and having 2 or 3 drinks and some fun and all that. That's great, if it works for you. But yeah, if you keep going and you're the one that ends up in the corner that can't speak, and everyone else is having a good time, or you're at home, it's going from that bottle of whiskey because you just can't handle the stress or whatever, well, it's just going to put you in a worse place. You're going to wake up with more stress, and it's going to be harder to handle, and you're going to probably have another drink or another whatever. And it disconnects you. It disconnects you. Well, it makes you feel disconnected from society when you drink. You think all your problems are your own. You think, oh my God, it's so bad, it's just me. And then we see where these people end up if they keep drinking, and they get so disconnected that they end up living on the street in a rubbish bin because they think the whole world is against them. And we see this all the time. And, this is a problem. Alcohol's a gateway drug, right? It's a gateway drug to destroying your life as far as what you think is real and how you see the world and how you see yourself. It doesn't, I've never met, a drinker, an alcoholic or whatever, who is empowered and who is made their life better from drinking, or again, whatever drug it may be. Even pharmaceuticals, right? All these sleeping pills. A lot of people are on sleeping pills. Well, that's not fixing the problem. All that's doing is covering it up, right? It's Band-Aid. So you can do that, but after 20 years, you're still going to have that problem. So probably best to put your energy into, why am I not sleeping? Practice meditation, practice breathing techniques. Stop giving money to pharmaceutical companies who are not helping you. We know they don't go for the cure. They just put a Band-Aid on there. So whatever it may be, alcohol, drugs, pharmaceutical drugs, if it's a crutch, then it's something you need to look at.
Yeah, like as Campbell said, I'm not a teetotaler. I'm not here to preach or tell anybody what to do. But if you're having a bad feeling or a bad energy or something feels bad in your body, you're supposed to have that. You're supposed to notice it. You're supposed to put on your big boy pants, grow up, and realize there's something going on that you need to attend to, that you need to fix. And having a slamming a whiskey back is not going to fix it. It's just going to block it for the moment, but it won't get fixed. It'll get harder to deal with the next day or the day after that or the day after that. So why is your body in pain? Why do you have a feeling about your job? Why do you have a feeling about your relationship or your food or where you're living or what your government is telling you or whatever, or your emotions or your lack thereof or your feelings, what's going on. And as you're honest with yourself and you see what's going on and you face the hard parts and the pain, that's where the growth comes. That's where your journey, this odyssey that Campbell and I are talking about. So 2022, if you've gone through the last couple of years and you're unhappy, sure, you can have a drink and sit down, but you're missing something probably. And in my opinion, of what a part of you at least is asking for in relation to the change that your life is probably telling you would be a good idea. And I don't mean me telling you or Campbell or anybody. I would say you're having pain because, like any pain, your body or your energy or your system is trying to tell you it's time to attend to something, right? You burn yourself, you cut yourself, you twist your ankle, you hurt a muscle. Generally, it's your body talking to you just like that. It's telling you, something you need to attend to. So you're having some emotional pain, which is why most people drink probably, or spiritual pain or, angst of one kind or another. Probably that means there's something you need to attend to, in my opinion. And by attending to it, your energy will get better. And the more you attend to it, the higher your energy will become, the more sober you'll become, the more clear your choices will become. And then options will open themselves up. I have found that weren't there before, because you're allowing yourself to do more than you were in relation to less, which is, in my opinion, what alcohol does. You end up being able to do less than the day before, not more.
I agree. Searching you will find, right? Knock on the door will open. You've got to ask for something more. If you're in a state where the only more you can ask for is another beer, then you need to start asking different questions. All the help's out there. They, of course, don't want you to know this. They want you to think that there's, help in a bottle, right? Just delay it. But, when we get down to it, we know all these, especially alcohol, right? It's not good for our morals. Like, you look at how people act on alcohol. So if you want to know if these things are an issue, what I did when I was younger in my 20s, go out to a party and don't drink. See what happens. Seriously, go out and you don't have to tell anyone. You can drink, lemon lime bitters, or you can drink something that looks like alcohol that's not. Just watch people. Just watch people as the night goes along, and you will be amazed. And then you'll start to think, oh, that was me last week. Is that really how I act? Because when you're in that state and you're all in that state, you don't pay much attention. You go to sleep, you wake up, you forget what's going on, right? What's happened. But when you watch drunk people getting drunker and drunker, it's not a good thing to see. It's just, it's just embarrassing and debaucherous. And so yeah, that's I would say, if you're drinking, just go out one night, and see what happens, and you'll have a whole new perspective on what this really is, what's really going on here.
It's a great point, because I've done that and I've seen that and I've watched it. I'm going, oh my goodness, you go, they don't look so smart, they don't look so sexy, they don't look so intelligent, they don't even look like they're really having a good time. The laughing is too loud, the singing is off key, the so-called sexy business is ugly, and because nothing is coming from a place of heart and love, and people love their sustainability, but being a drunkard is not sustainable, as far as staying young and happy and healthy. And even if you want to look at it from a regular perspective, we all want to stay young, happy, healthy, and attractive, right? And alcohol is definitely the opposite of that. It'll age you, it'll make you ugly, it'll take away your health. Won't do anything good in the long run. And, there's probably a reason they always show young 20-year-olds in those commercials, and they used to anyways, because, they're not showing, drunk old people.
Yeah, the 50-year-olds, it was like, oh.
Yeah, they're not showing those 50-year-olds that have been using their product for 30 years. No. They, they've got the 21-year-olds in the bikinis, or the 20-year-old guys in their Speedos or whatever. I haven't watched commercials in a while, but I remember how they used to be. having their fun.
And they're all so buff, right? They're all like, you look at them, they're like, oh, you live in the gym. Like, they're not even drinkers.
No.
They get the people who don't drink, who are looking after their body, and then they say, just hold this drink.
Yeah, no, it's the guy with the beer gut and the bloodshot eyes, or the
See that, right? The blue tank tops with the big gut. Oh,
big gut hanging out. So if you want to look at it even from a simple perspective, you want to stay young and happy and healthy. It's not a good idea to indulge in that or anything else. We're going to start talking, Campbell and I, on, Mind, Messenger, Menace. That's one of the upcoming chats we're doing. And another one is, getting your youth back. And the alcohol or being drunk on anything is the opposite of all that. So if you want to take a good Odyssey, consider yourself on the ship, like our logo. You're going across the water. You get too drunk, you're going to fall overboard. Right? Or maybe your friends will toss you overboard because you're not helping but hindering the journey. So, overall, I would say at the very least, be honest with yourself, see what it's doing and not doing, see what, you feel in relation to where you may want to go in relation to what the alcohol is helping you with, or the opposite. And, that's right. And the sobriety will grow, and then your options will grow. And then, in my opinion, you'll get what it is you wanted to get when you started drinking. You get the happy, healthy, free, abundant, beautiful lifestyle and life, which is the reason you probably started in the first place. But, once again, the monsters or powers that be haven't really wanted to get you there. So they've offered you a fake choice, right? A fake way, supposedly an easy way. And there's no easy way out.
And I was just thinking, like, a soft drink as well, I'd put in there too. That stuff's not good for you. And I remember all the ads from the 80s and 90s, the Coke ads are always these fit, young, healthy people. They were out, swimming in the ocean, or they were, out in nature, always doing physical things and so much fun, and always got their can of Coke. Never shows a Coke drinker though, right? Because we know what a Coke drinker is. There's someone who's sitting on their couch watching the telly, having a hard time lifting their remote control. So it's all such a scam. And they give you one picture and they go, oh, look, these are the Coke drinkers, but we know they're not.
No.
So that's the other thing. Just wait. We just need to understand that it's all a show. It's all crap. And it's all directed to what's bad for us. I mean, look what's gone on in the last 2 years. If you think that anything that these people promote is for your well-being after what's happened,
think again.
What do you say to that, Ryan? I got no answer.
Wake sober. Up. Yeah.
Become sober. Stop drinking, and you'll start to see what's going on, or stop taking whatever it is you're taking. Whatever it is that's because that's all drugs do, is they change your perspective, right? They put your mind in a different place where you see and interpret things differently. So why would the powers that be want you to do that? I wonder. Ask yourself that. Do you want to be a victim and a slave? Do you want them to be controlling you? Do you want to be buying their lies and going, oh, yeah, mate, I'm on board with your lies. Please take me down. Or do you want to be smarter and go, I see you. Not falling for that one again.
Yeah.
And this is what it's about, guys. I like smart people, and I like to hang with smart people. And the smart people aren't drinkers. I can tell you that right now. So who do you want to hang out with? Who do you want to be? Who do you want to become like? The drinkers or the thinkers, right? Because really, that's the choice. Not many drinkers are good thinkers.
No. And as we continue on this Odyssey this year, Campbell and I, we're going to go more and more out there as far as the information we share in relation to our experiences. I'm not going to put myself on any pedestal. And if you're drunk, you probably won't get where we're going. And I don't mean you won't get where we're going, but you also may not get where we're going, but you won't, but you want to understand what's being shared as we go through the ways to increase your energetic resources so that you may use those resources to make a new life, to go on your own Odyssey, to go on your own journey. And really what I found, and I can say, and maybe I'll leave this conversation there, is alcohol depleted my resources, depleted my intelligence, depleted my ability to make good choices, depleted my inspiration, and it depleted everything that I wanted to do, and left me depleted, and defeated and sad and overweight at times, in my life. And, and I found the opposite by becoming sober, and not just by alcohol, but becoming sober in your choices, sober in your eating, sober in everything you do in life, and it just means basically sobriety is clear thinking, clear feelings, clear choices, clear eating, and I would say, without lying to yourself about anything, pretty much, you know, if anything, I've seen drinkers to become good at lying to themselves about all sorts of things.
They that's all they do, and then they can't handle the lie, so they get drunk
Mm,
or they take whatever, you know.
mm.
So that's all it is. It's putting off life. How long can you put life off, and to what end? Like, because I can tell you right now, if you do that, you will be, if you make it that long, you'll be the 70-year-old or the 60-year-old in a hospital bed on your deathbed going, if only. And believe me, that is not somewhere you want to end up, because we don't get to go back in time and remake those choices. You got to remake them now. And when we say now, it's not, oh, maybe I'll stop drinking next week, because we know next week never comes. This has got to be something that's done now in the moment. And the decision has got to be in the moment. Next time you get your invitation, come out and let's get smashed. You have to make that decision in the moment. Well, yeah, no, I'm not really into that anymore. You know, I'd rather hang with the cool people and get smart and go up, rather than living my life as a slave and taking directions from these slave masters who clearly don't have good intentions for me. I mean, and that's how I see it, guys. Do you want to be duped? You know, do you want to fall for the tricks, really? Or do you want to be smarter and let's get this done and let's get rid of these parasites? Because yeah, that's my biggest thing. I don't want to be stupid.
I was gonna subtitle this this talk we've done, another drunk clown. So do you want to be another drunk clown? Yeah. Do you want to be another drunk clown? Or do you want to be your own hero? And you know, and I'm not even discussing the fact, we haven't even touched base on what you're supposed to do in your dreams, what you could be doing in your dreams, what you could be doing, you know, when your eyes are closed and you're in your bed. And we all know what happens when you're drunk. You pass out, nothing happens much. You know, you wake up the next day, you know, at best you have a blackout time. And so what else are you missing that you don't know you're missing besides your living life? Who knows what you're missing in your dreaming life as well, in your other life? You know, maybe that's one of the odysseys we're going to discuss is, you know, dreaming in your odyssey and dreams in your odyssey and what that could be for you, what that could mean for you. So, you know, overall, in the what they call the 24 hours, your day, your dreaming, your life, your inspirations, I would say, you know, being drunk doesn't help. At the very least, it delays. At the worst, it takes your whole life away. Seems to be a waste.
You don't see successful drinkers. You don't, you know, the only people who really make anything out of alcohol are pub owners and brewery owners, right? And when you see them, they're not alcoholics.
No, I've met a few of them.
You know?
Yeah, they're just working people selling a product, right? It's like
exactly. So they, you know, and most of them probably have a drink, but they literally will have a drink or two, because they know, they spend their whole life looking at what it does to people. Unfortunately, they still sell it to those people. But anyone who can see the effects is away from this stuff. No, don't touch it. But like I said, it just gets promoted to the young people. They think it's cool. They get into this habit, and before they know it, they're 30, you know, they haven't done what they wanted to do. They've done a lot of things that they didn't want to do. And it's time to make a decision. So, yeah, guys, 2022, who do you want to be controlling your life? Who do you want to be making the decisions? Do you want to enhance your connection or help sever it? I mean, that's really the question.
It's a good way to put it. You want to enhance your connection to the all of everything, or do you want to sever it and become a drunken fool? Sobriety and clear choice 2022. I think this is a great way. I'm gonna, you know, leave my inspirations here for this coming one. We're gonna do this as an Odyssey special. You know, I wanted to let everyone know Kemba and I have started our own Odyssey channel on Oddyssey. You know, we will also release the videos there. You know, this one will go up on the new now. The first one of our I guess 5, 6, 7, and 8 will be on Campbell's channel, Autodidactic. We're going to release that one in probably 10 days or something like that after this one, about that time. But they will also all be on Oddyssey as well. We'll leave the links below so you can follow everything we've done there. It'll be in one spot for you to go check out, make it easy to follow. And, you know, like always, if you have any questions or suggestions or comments, leave them below. We'll leave a video, an email link below. You can join there. You know, we'll get back to you that way. You know, donate if you can. It helps us out to keep things going on. And yeah, I'm happy to see everyone here in 2022.
Exactly. Welcome to 2022, guys. So time to make some changes, unless, you know, you're loving the life that you've got right now. But most of us definitely need to make a few changes. So That's pretty much it. Yeah, just
right.
have a look at what it really is, and choose your mind.
Yeah, let's
Choose connection.
Choose connection, choose love, choose your guts, choose community, choose friendship, choose all the good stuff. Do it from a sober perspective. Face your pains. It'll help you heal, and then we can all get along together and get to a better place. I love you all very much. I'm so happy you're here.
Indeed. And if you do have a story about this topic, guys, leave it below, because it will be, it'll help other people out. Our experiences are always good to help other people. So definitely leave us your stories. And yes, be good, be amazing. Thanks for joining us. Check out our links below, and we'll be back in a few weeks with another episode of the Odyssey of Truth.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for joining us. Stay awesome. We need to future-proof our incomes. We're going to need incomes that aren't attached to Babylon, that aren't attached to rules and conditions that basically can stop that income at any time. We know what they want. We know all these plans they want to introduce. So we've come across a way that we can get out in front and detach ourselves from all the rules and basically start going forward and building the lives that we all deserve.
Yeah, we found a company that manufactures and sells in the country in which they offer their services. Why give up what you love simply because parts of this world have gone seemingly crazy? We figure if you stop feeding the beast, you feed love, your life can become much better with a simple shift in emphasis. Freedomshift.life. If you're willing to put some time into yourself, you can also help your abundance grow, and as Campbell said, without having to give up your medical sovereignty to do so.
Freedomshift.life.
Can't make me lie to my heart. No one tells me where I should start. Freedom first is what I say. Nothing now gonna get in my way.